get players in that uncomfortable position, trying to win again, right?
Absolutely. More over, back with it again. Two come up so far with Brittany. We'll build close things out. Perhaps pick up a as well. Got Daniel Karchik for this time. A shorter an appeal, and it's been given Daniel Bakari. Bakari promotion, over and quite working. Just faint little tickle, but you need Arunasha with the breakthrough. Early advance on Tigers 1 at 1 over. Another change in the batting order for the Territories Tigers. We've got Aftab Hussain in at number 3. Jasmine, I quite like this move.
I like this move. I don't know if they've done it tactically and they're bringing different people in, or if it's just a change up from maybe what happened yesterday. But I always like it. It's like what we were saying before, getting people out of their comfort zone, putting them in different situations. I guess this is the perfect platform for people to be able to do that.
It's interesting because literally yesterday I was thinking, wow, I'd love to see Aftab Hussain bat in the power play. One of only 2 batters to hit more 6s than 4s in the Premier League T20 tournament in November. I don't know if that's in your stat
I don't think
book.
it is. Must have run out of time.
Full of length. Mohsin Khan, so impressive yesterday. 3 overs, 1 for 12. A little surprised he didn't get a 4th over. And we've got 1 slip in place. It's 5-4 offside field. The men on the boundary, a deep third man. And that might be it. No, a deep mid-wicket. On the pads. Oh, that could have been close. Whew.
A little bit of nervous running there, I think, early. And I like what he's doing. He's obviously set that field. He's got slightly less pace. Bowling nice and full. Got the kind of short 45, but the third down. Probably indicates he's just going to bowl as full as he can, middle stump. And what they've done, as you say, leg side, that deep mid-wicket out, just to protect if that line does go slightly off. And I don't mind that. I don't mind the tactic of bowling nice and full.
Oh, that's whipped away. Work to do.
If you can keep bowling full.
That's a long part of the boundary as well.
Yeah, and outfield always a bit slow, especially morning.
I believe that was Audit. So Audit's off the mark. Elegantly, as always. But this is going to be an interesting battle. There's just a bit of breeze which was blowing from right to left. It's now perhaps blowing the other way. In any case, here's Mohsin. Oh, Audit, once again, this should cross the ropes for the first boundary. First boundary for Audit and first boundary for the New Territories Tigers.
Yeah, lovely shot. I think that one strayed a little bit too much towards leg. Lovely slot for him to hit that. Probably 1 bounce for.
And he's so good off his legs, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Adit Gorawara, 18 years old. On strike once more. Oh, little lucky. Deep third man. He cuts that off. Harun Arshad there. A little lucky perhaps, just looking to get that a little more square, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and I think that's a key thing. If you're gonna try and get that back of a length, it's got to be that 4th, 5th stump line. Try and see if we can get that edge. Be interesting because the pace comes off of him. He's trying to get it square. Be interesting if we get a few that go through that gully space down to third. It'd be interesting to see if they actually end up putting someone there.
I'll tell you one batsman who can get it down there, Nazakat Khan.
I tell you what, it's my favourite cricket shot. If I'm ever in trouble, I always look to dink to third man, just get me off strike.
Good end to the over from Wilson. It's 9 for 1 after 2.
Who do you pick to win today's game?
Good question. I think when I was watching yesterday, both of these teams dropped about only 20-30 short of the Cowley line, so I think it's going to be quite tight. My money was on the Tigers, but let's see if the Islanders change my mind.
Here's Arun Harshad to continue. Big appeal, but that's sliding down leg side. A little optimistic there. Harun Arshad continuing from the Argyle Street end.
Slow-mo replay of that LBW appeal.
It's an interesting one, Jasmine. I would have been tempted to back the Islanders, but I just feel like batting first. Big advantage for the Tigers. I'm going to make a big call, actually. I think we're going to have a last over finish.
Yeah. What about super over?
That's a really big call. Nitesh, is a super over in the playing conditions?
So, as per Premier League T20 conditions, the Premier League did not have a super over until the final.
Ooh.
But this is the All-Stars T20, so let's see what the match referee thinks about it. Also depends on our timings, if you have enough time on the ground to do a super over and then the final.
That's Nitesh Himlani's complicated way of saying, I don't know.
Might be nice. How about you go Islanders, I'll go Tigers, and we have some commentary competition as well.
A play and a miss. No! He's nicked that through. An almost identical dismissal to the first one. 2 early wickets for Harun Arshad. Early advantage to the Hong Kong Islanders. 9 for 2, the Tigers inside 3 overs.
Yeah, and both of them have done exactly the same thing. Almost look like they're trying to guide that short ball. As we say, that really nice 4th, 5th line. Very, very risky early on.
And it looks like Babar Hyatt is walking out to bat.
It'd be great to see Babar fire today. I think the first baller yesterday. So he's probably taking that pressure on a bit. So it'd be interesting to see. I think they just need to settle a little bit here now. Two wickets in the power play.
I would have actually liked to see Kinchit come into bat for one very simple reason. He got out to Dan Wallace yesterday trying to hook to the longest part of the ground. And I just want to see Kinchit tested in that same way again. I mean, I don't think that the Tigers fans would like me saying that. But Harun Arshad probably the quickest of the Islanders bowlers. It'll be interesting to see if he does get a third over. I'd be tempted to just hold him back for Kinchit Shah. But at least in terms of statistically speaking, has been Hong Kong's best batsman in the last 18 months, Harun Arshad. That's been tucked away by Babar Hyatt. So he's off the mark.
I think that will calm his nerves nicely today. His little single off the first ball.
Yeah, it was a bit of a soft dismissal yesterday.
Yeah.
I do feel for him because it looked like he was trying to keep the ball down despite getting caught at mid-wicket.
Yeah.
He was trying to do the right thing. Just execution wasn't quite there. But it would take a brave person to bet against Babar Hyatt. This morning, Harun Arshad looking for his third wicket. The short ball, bowling to his field. A deep square leg and a deep fine leg out on the boundary.
Yeah, I think it's interesting what you say about Kinchit. I think we'll see what happens with this partnership now. He could have gone in early and got them off the mark, I think, but how they've gone with those 2 early wickets, it might not be a bad thing. Let these two settle, get it ticking over, and then get him coming in and firing. But yeah, it'll go one of 2 ways, the tactic.
Aftab Hussain yet to get off the mark. Oh, and he's off the mark now. Work to do for the men on the boundary. No chance. So
Nice.
Aftab off the mark
Yeah.
with a really nice boundary.
Yeah, nice one bounce for. Picked exactly the middle point between those fielders. Nicely placed.
And the middle of the bat too.
That's what I struggle with. Not quite sure where the middle of my bat is normally.
Jasmine, you've played on here so many times, a lot of morning games, of course. What can you tell us about how the ball behaves in the morning? Any sort of assistance that the fast bowlers get?
Yeah, I think in the women's game we do get a few of the quicker bowlers who get some nice shape. I think the morning games here, it's always been a bit dewy, a bit overcast. We've had some quite nice shape early on. I had to bowl cross seam last game. I just couldn't control it. But it wasn't a bad thing. I just went tactic full and straight. But we do sometimes get a nice bit of assistance with the swing. I think someone like Mariko comes in.
Oh, that could have been 3 down. Dropped by, I believe, Ehsan Khan at first slip. Slightly tough chance, but perhaps I'm being too generous. That should have been taken.
Yeah, I think he got there. He got there. I don't know if it was the momentum of diving or when he hit the ground, but probably should have held that.
In one of the Premier League T20 games, I saw Ehsan Khan take the identical catch, same diving, but to his other side of a left-handed batsman off Mohsin Khan's bowling. This is almost a repeat of that. Unlucky.
Yeah, I think he'll be upset with himself there.
That was solid from Aftab Hussain, but straight to mid-off.
Yeah, I think going back to your question, yeah, someone like Mariko generally bowls nice and tall, good pace. She gets a little bit off the seam early on. We actually batted second both games in the Premier League, and we got some
use of the feet there.
some nice early wickets similar to this.
Yeah.
Probably early power plays. Yeah, I can't quite tell here if they're getting a little bit of movement off the seam, but
Just from the naked eye, there doesn't seem to be too much movement available.
yeah.
Harun Arshad would disagree with those 2 early wickets. Here's Mohsin once again. That should be out. And yes, the commentators curse perhaps.
Yeah, me backing the Tigers and they've gone.
But yes, Mohsin Khan getting some nice shape into the right-hander. That looked like an inside edge to me. And yet another wicket falls. It's Aftab Hussain this time. So the promotion not quite working. Not working at all. And we can only assume that Kinchit Shah will be walking out at number 5. And yes, it is Kinchit Shah.
Big job to do for Kinchit, I think, now.
We've said this before and we'll say it again. Kinchit Shah, among associate nation cricketers, probably the most improved cricketer in the last year and a half or 2 years. And I'm talking about every facet of his game. With the bat, with the ball, in terms of fitness as well.
Yeah.
He's a lot more fit than he was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And he's always been, as a child, he was always a prodigious talent. I went to school with Kinchit, actually. I've played with him and against him. And as a 7-year-old, I believe as a 7-year-old, he was playing under 13 cricket. And he wasn't doing too bad either. Fun fact about Kinchit Shah, actually. The first time we played tape ball cricket together, he sledged me a lot. He sledged me before he knew what my name was, Kinchit Shah.
Well, here we go. Now you're in the box. It's payback time.
No, but he's mellowed out a lot, and all that early promise, it's finally coming to fruition. Hong Kong's invested a lot in Kinchit Shah, and a wise investment, I'd have to say. It's just left alone. And there you go. I mean, he's only faced one ball, but you can tell he knows exactly where his off stump is.
Yep. I think that's the difference of those couple of early wickets, just fishing for it out. Like you say, he knows exactly where he is. I don't think he's going to give that away. Let's see if these two can get a little bit of a partnership going now. It'd be nice to see Babar and Kinchit see what they can do.
If you were Jamie Atkinson, would you keep Harun Arshad going from the other end? Oh my word,
Gone
that's
through for
edged.
4.
Between the keeper and first slip, I don't think it goes down as a chance. It looked like it dropped just short of Ahsan Khan, who has his hands on his hips.
Yeah, dropped just short of him.
But yes, a fortuitous boundary for Kinchit Shah. The score moves on to 19, but the New Territories Tigers have lost 3 wickets in the process. And yes, it's Harun Arshad to continue from the other end.
Yeah, to answer your question, I think I'm very much a believer of if someone's feeling good and we're on the attack and they've taken a couple of early wickets, I don't feel that you need to necessarily save them to the end, especially 3 down. I would have probably kept him on as well. Some people might differ and change it up after 2. If someone's going well, you don't want to necessarily ruin that. But yeah, I think I'm more of a firm believer of if someone feels good and they're on the attack for us, keep them on. Especially no one's looked that comfortable against him. And I think once someone does start looking comfortable, I mean, it was a bad ball, the 4. That's when you'd change things up.
Harun Arshad, back of a length. Batsman looking for 2, and they should come back. Really good calling there.
Nice running.
And it's important when things are tough to turn those 1s into 2s, just to keep that scoreboard ticking. And it's a shame it's a real shame for the Tigers. You want to take advantage of the power play, but unfortunately, they're going to have to pretend it's not a power play.
Yeah. Reset a little bit here, I think.
Harun to Barber. It's down the leg side once again. But yes, I mean, for the New Territories Tigers, their 2 best batters out in the middle, and strong case to be made, the 2 best batters in Hong Kong.
Yep. Yeah, that's why it's quite exciting to see what's going to happen now. I think mixture of their experience and their skills. See if they can really anchor this. I mean, they need to take it over. Yeah. So I wonder if they've had a discussion that one of them is going to go, or they're both just going to play their game. I would hope the latter.
I have to say, I've noticed that Harun Arshad is steaming in a lot quicker than he was in his first 2 overs. Yeah. I wonder if he knows that. It could just be a subconscious thing. He's got that momentum. He's feeling good.
Yeah, I think as an opening bowler, like you said, couple of wides early on, probably nerves. Placing the ball rather than running in and bowling. As soon as you get a wicket, you only go for a couple. You do get that momentum. That's why I think good decision to keep him on.
It's tucked away once again from Babar Hayat. I believe all of Babar's scoring shots have been in that mid-wicket square leg region.
Yeah.
So they're tucking him up, but he's rotating strike. He's getting to the other end. He's getting his eye in, getting a bit of a start.
He did that a lot in the Premier League T20. He's got his reputation as being destructive, but for PACC he often took his time to get his eye in, and he was sort of both the anchor and the hammer for them, in a sense. So.
Yeah, good call, Nitesh. I believe his strike rate was around 128, but he was averaging more than a 6 per game. And something similar is probably needed today. What do you think is a good score, batting first?
I think yesterday par score was around 180. I think it was a 177 and a 188 in the end. And like I said, both these teams dropped about 30 short. So if we go off that, I think anything par around there for these 2 teams is what we're looking at. I would probably say 180 on here. but challenging now that they've lost these early wickets. So we might have to assess that. But I definitely think game 2 against the Lions, I guess they'll want to bat first, but definitely being a pass score this weekend.
That's punched off the back foot, just in front of square.
It was interesting yesterday, actually. I had a look at the stats, got my notebook. The Islanders, their number 8 to 11s all had a strike rate collectively of 160. I think there was a couple of them up in the 200s. So they didn't necessarily last that long, but I think it shows they have got a little bit of depth who can fire. I think actually every single batter, if I'm correct, hit a 6, number 8 to 11. So they've got it in their armory. So I think the Tigers need to be careful with that as well.
Harun Arshad down the leg side. I believe that's his 3rd wide of the innings, 4th wide of the innings.
Yeah, you can see what he's trying to do, bowl nice and full straight, but actually if you look back at his wickets, they've been that back of a length, just outside off. I would probably revert back to that tactic where I've seen the success, but I guess as a bowler in T20, you're almost programmed to go full and straight.
2 balls left in the 5th over. There we go, Jasmine.
Yeah, there we go.
Right on cue. And it's a length that did work for Harun Arshad.
Yeah. And actually, looking at what we've just said, it's the line for me in T20. He's got his wickets bowling outside off, and it was shorter. But that ball, compared to the others that have been wide, it was still the same length, but that line was perfect, and no one's going to get that away. And that's what I'd say. Any young cricketers listening, it is definitely about knowing your field, and for me it's about line. Even a short one outside off, they're either going to have to play across or try and get that over the top cut shot, which again is risky, like we've seen these early wickets.
Absolutely. Here's Mohsin for his 3rd over. Kinchit Shah sent back by Babur. Could have been trouble. And
Single
they're going to
anyway.
get 1 for the overthrow. Bit of a misfield there. That could have been close. Babur sending Kinchit back just in time, though.
Yeah, right decision.
My word, that would have spelled... that would have been catastrophic for the Tigers. But at the end of the day, no harm, no foul. Gotta say, Jasmine, I just figured out why the Tigers are wearing orange and black. Because they're the Tigers, and that's what a tiger looks like. Oh my word, took me long enough. Here's Mohsin once again. Tucked away. Simple. Another single to mid-wicket. So yes, some really good uniforms on display throughout this tournament. The Tigers, of course, in orange and black. Courtesy of Montgomery Sports, doing a great work with our kits. The Islanders, though, the aquatic blue. I quite like the aquatic blue.
I like it. It's same with women's. Like we pretty much chose the Jade Jets so we could be in that colour.
Mohsin once again. Oh, wonderful.
Great ball.
Just a little bit of movement away from the left-hander.
Yeah, it's a lovely shape. That's definitely moved in the air and off the pitch.
Mohsin Khan. I've got to say, I think he's been single most impressive left-arm quick that we've seen so far.
Yeah, and it's just nice to see someone consistent with shape as well. I think
Absolutely.
there's, as quick as you can bowl, you can't go wrong with shape.
Oh, that's cut off by Ahsan Khan. Good work there, but the batsmen scamper through for a single. So the run rate just a shade under 5. We've got 2 balls left in the power play. I just wonder if Babar Hayat is sensing an opportunity to go over the top, both mid-on and mid-off, up in the circle. I don't know, Jasmine, I feel a boundary coming.
I do. It's bowling very, very consistently though. And I guess for them in the batsman's mind, he's got 2 balls left to see out. And I think they'll really start rotating the strike at the end of the power play. But yeah, I think they've probably not capitalised enough on only having 2 fielders out. They'll probably be a bit disappointed with the amount of boundaries that they could have had in these first 6. But kudos to the bowlers, been consistent.
And here we go, last ball of the power play, Mohsin Khan. That's tucked away for yet another single on the leg side. It's going to be a tight one. Kinchit Shah makes it in. So that's 29 for 3 at the end of the power play. Change in bowling and a change of pace here with Ehsan Khan into the attack. Once again, Ehsan Khan, just like he did yesterday, starting from the Argyle street end, bowling those tough overs.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see what these guys do with the spin. I think he's got his deep cover out. 2 on the leg side?
Yes.
Deep mid-wicket, deep square.
The man in the circle cuts that off. Yes, an interesting field, packed on the leg side. Like Jasmine was just saying, we've got a deep mid-wicket and a deep square leg and a long on in place. Oh, Ehsan. Why are we surprised? He's bowling to his field like he always does.
Just tempting him to go out. There's deep mid-on, deep mid-wicket, deep square, and he's still trying to hoik that over leg.
This is one heck of a contest right now. Ooh. And I believe that's gone all the way. Yes, it has. So Babar Hayat, it's 1-0 to him. He gets his first maximum of the innings.
I'm tallying the sixes today. 1.
Babar Hayat choosing to take on the off spinner.
Yeah, just that little bit too short. I think I would have backed Babar to hit that for 6 on most grounds.
What an exciting contest, though. One of the finest batters in the history of Hong Kong cricket. And a Hong Kong Hall of Famer in Ehsan Khan as well. A future Hall of Famer. You've got to retire to get into the Hall of Fame.
Ehsan Khan's never retiring.
Ehsan Khan will never retire. That's true. Keeps getting younger every year.
Yeah, I think simple game plan for these two now. They've got the opportunity to really rotate that strike, push for 2s with these guys on the boundary. And then, like Babar just did, put away that short ball, put away that bad ball, and you get the run rate then going from, just under 5 to 6, 7, 8, which is what they need.
Oh, big appeal, and it's given. An interesting call from the umpire. I think the right one as well.
Yeah, I think the right one. I think looking here on the screen, and we'll look at the replay, I think it looked pretty set to hit the stumps. Hit him flush on the front. Down to fine for 1. I think it's important here for the Islanders. Really put these new batsmen under pressure. You don't want to be giving them those free little ones to get off strike. You'll be definitely looking to hit those ones, get Babar on, and see if they can capitalise.
the score right, that's okay.
Score's not right. Gets points and the score's not right. You catch up the score now.
Nice leave there. Little bit of movement still. Bowling really consistent line and length. A little bit further outside off than what we've seen in bowls so far. But a leave from Baba. Not being tempted with those wider ones.
How it scores late. I'm playing that.
Nice shot there. Down to mid-off. I think one ball left in the over.